Very good afternoon one and all. So yes, in our PGT sessions we are in chapter 2, that is diversity in life forms, where in previous class we have clearly dealt with characteristic and defining features of living, and today we are going to completely deal with the diversity in living world and taxonomy, classification, types of taxonomy, systematics and 7 obligate taxonomic categories in detail. So yes, let us get started. First, diversity in the living world. The number of species that are known and described ranges between 1.7 to 1.8 million. Okay. So far it is analyzed based on the statistics that the number of the species that are known and described are ranges from 1.7 to 1.8 million species, and then 1.2 million animals are present. Of them, insects are the largest group of the organisms, and then 0.5 million plants are present, of which the largest group is angiosperms. 15,000 new species are discovered every year. Maximum biodiversity is found in tropical rainforests and in coral reef regions. So this is the diversity of living world. Here we have to highlight and remember which set of organisms are the largest groups. In animals though it is insects, in plants it is angiosperms. Okay. Next, nomenclature. So about 1.7 to 1.8 million species which are on earth, they have been identified and described, of which biodiversity is the term which is used to describe the enormous varieties of life on earth. What is biodiversity? Diversity means varied forms, many forms. So the enormous variety of life on earth is said to be the biodiversity. First, in that we have to focus on the identification and nomenclature. What is the type of organism should be first identified. Identification is the process by which the features or the characteristics of the organism are known. Mostly the morphological features or the characteristics are to be first identified, so that one can identify the organism in any part of the world, and then after identification that this organism belongs to this, after identification then comes the concept of nomenclature, that is naming them. So identified organisms are named accordance with a standard procedure according to different norms like ICBN, ICNB, okay, many are there. I have list of that also. They are accepted all across the world. This is called as nomenclature. So first, biodiversity, like what are the diverse species that we have, and then to analyze them first they need to be identified and then they need to be named. Now we will highlight the binomial nomenclature. Here we have to remember two scientists. Of course, amongst those two, Carolus Linnaeus only is highlighted, but then it is Gaspard Bowen. Gaspard Bowen. He is the scientist, Gaspard Bowen, who has introduced binomial nomenclature, but that is developed broadly by Carolus Linnaeus, wherein this is known as two works, namely in Species Plantarum in the year 1753 of plants for plants and Systema Naturae which is in 1758. In these two publications he has given the complete information of binomial nomenclature. This reference books are also important for us. Okay. Next, in Systema Naturae, using binomial nomenclature system, Carolus named around 4,400 animal species and 7,700 plant species are being identified. Two terms are used to denote a species of living organism in this. First is generic name and second will be species epithet. Generic name, for example, Mangifera, and this is species epithet. Now we will see what are the uses of binomial nomenclature and what is the standard procedure of binomial nomenclature. So here, uses of binomial nomenclature. Single scientific name can replace multiple vernacular names or biological names. Biological names or vernacular names will be different based on the region or place the plant is growing, but then the scientific name is common for everything. Okay. Next, description of any organism enables people to arrive at the same name, and then this ensures that a name has not been used for more than one known organism. One organism, one name. That is the use of binomial nomenclature. Rules of binomial nomenclature is very important. Okay. First, biological names are generally in Latin. Okay, all the biological names are generally in Latin. Usually all the time we will extract the terms from Latin or Greek because they are dead languages. They don't evolve at all. Nobody is using that, so there is no evolution in the language. So all the scientific names are being taken from the Latin. In systematics though it is Greek. Okay. So biological names are generally in Latin. They are Latinized or derived from Latin irrespective of their origin. First word in biological name will represent genus, okay, while the second component will denote specific epithet. Both the words of the biological name, when they are handwritten, they should be underlined separately. For example, Mangifera indica. Mangifera indica, they have to be underlined separately, but when they are printed, they have to be printed in italics. That is one of the standard rule. This printing in italics will indicate its Latin origin, and then the first word denoting the genus starts with capital letter, whereas the species start with small letter. And if the scientist name is included, that should be in Roman like this. Okay. These are in italics, but scientist name will be in the Roman. For example, Mangifera indica Len. Okay. And there is one more important rule for this in the binomial nomenclature, that is principle of priority. That is not included over here. Principle of priority. This is one of the standard rule of binomial nomenclature. Principle of priority is nothing but if, for suppose, 3 to 4 scientists have identified the same plant at different times, we will prioritize that name which is identified priorly. Okay, the one which is identified priorly is taken as binomial nomenclature when 3 to 4 people has identified the same plant. That is the principle of priority. Okay. Next, there are two major codes of naming organisms. One is International Code of Botanical Nomenclature, which is in plants, and second is International Code of Zoological Nomenclature in animals. So animal species will have the same name for both genus and species. Such names are called as tautonyms. Okay, tautonyms, which are very important. For example, Eurasian eagle owl is said as boo 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 boo. Okay. European grass snake is called as Natrix natrix, and Kazanus, that is named as what? Naza naza. Okay. These are few examples. Yes. Next. So these codes of nomenclature are important. All the plants are being named by ICBN, and all the zoological animal names of binomial nomenclature are handled by the International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. ICVN, which handles the naming of viruses, that is International Code of Viral Nomenclature, and then ICNCP, this is International Code of Nomenclature for cultivated plants, and then ICNB, which is International Code of Nomenclature for bacteria. Okay. So these codes of nomenclature are important for us. And then taxonomy. Scientists have grouped organisms into convenient categories. This process is called as classification. Classification is nothing but grouping the organisms based on their convenient categories is called as classification. What is taxonomy? Placing them in different taxa or categories is called as taxonomy. So we can call taxon as, taxon is also called as, rank is also called as category. As such, we have 7 obligate categories or taxons. What are they? The highest taxon will be kingdom, lowest will be species, then genus, then family, then order, and then class, and then phylum or division, lastly kingdom. Okay, these are the 7 obligate categories, taxons or ranks, taxonomic rank. Placing the organisms based on this taxon is called as taxonomy. So taxon is a group of one or more populations of an organism. It can refer to as any category in the hierarchy of classification system. First, for example, the group of organisms which are morphologically similar and reproducing, if 2 organisms reproduce, they are producing the fertile offspring, then they are said to be same species. Okay? If a sterile offspring is produced, then they do not belong to same species according to biological concept of species by Ernst Mayr. So those species, group of similar species will come under genera. Group of similar genera which are exhibiting in plants the same vegetative and floral characters are placed in family. Group of similar families which show same reproductive features are placed in order. As such, group of orders are placed in class, and then in phylum or division, and lastly kingdom. Clear, right? Next, taxonomy is a branch of study which deals with principles and procedures of identification, characterization, classification and nomenclature. To know the components of taxonomy, we can simply call it as ICNC. Okay? First, identification, characterization, nomenclature and classification. This will be the order. Okay? Based on the characteristics of living organisms, they can be classified into different taxa. Earliest classifications were based on uses of various organisms such as basic needs of food, clothing and shelter. This is the basic classification past in an ancestry level they have done. Earliest classification systems are not very efficient. Okay? So this is about taxonomy. Here what we have to remember, 7 obligate taxons, ranks or categories, and then we have to highlight the definition of classification and taxonomy. What is the difference between classification and taxonomy? And in taxonomy, what are the components included? Identification, characterization, nomenclature and classification. Here, characterization is nothing but morphological and all other characters are described. All the characters of an organism, morphological and internal characters are described in characteristics. Identification will define or determine the similarities with already known organisms. Okay? That will help in the process of identifying any organisms, comparing with previous organisms which are identified. Classification is nothing but placing the organisms under a particular taxa or category is classification. Nomenclature is giving a proper scientific name. Okay? So these are the components of taxonomy. Now systematics. I can say simply as taxonomy along with evolutionary relationships is said to be systematics. Taxonomy along with evolutionary relationships is said to be systematics, that is characterization, identification, classification, nomenclature. Along with that, if we are also considering the evolutionary history of an organism, then it is said to be systematics. So systematics is the study of evolutionary relationships among the organism. Derived Latin word, that is systema, which means the systematic arrangement of the organisms. Study of one organism will give information about the whole group. Taxonomy, systematics and classification are often used as synonyms, but they are not technically same. Okay? Now I would like to give you the types of taxonomy also. Taxonomy, we have 2 types. One is classical taxonomy and second type is modern taxonomy. In classical taxonomy, the taxonomy grouping is placed only based on morphological characteristics. So here the grouping is only based on morphological characteristics. But here in modern taxonomy, along with external features, that is morphological characters, internal characters are also considered, like embryology, anatomy of root, stem, leaf, its cell division, cell anatomy, everything is considered. All the external and internal features considered to place the organisms in different taxa is called as modern taxonomy. So, here both external and internal characters are considered. Okay, and then now we will see the difference between taxonomy and systematics, important for us again. This is nothing but process of classification. Here this includes taxonomy and nomenclature, along with that evolutionary relationships as well. Next, importance. This is to identify, name and describe the organisms, and in systematics this describes evolutionary relationships among the organisms. Abiotic conditions, they are indirectly related, here abiotic conditions are directly related, and this changes with time, subject to change with time, this does not change with time. So, this is about taxonomy and systematics, and in taxonomy this is Latin in origin, systematics is Greek, the origin is Greek. Okay. So, this is the difference between taxonomy and systematics. Now, we come across the taxonomic categories, which is very important. So, as we have discussed, we have 7 obligate categories from species to kingdom. Of that, the smallest taxon is species, largest is kingdom. Okay. So, here it is also called as Linnaean hierarchy or taxonomic hierarchy, as it is first proposed by Linnaeus. A taxon is a group of organisms and a category represents the rank of a taxon. So, rank, taxon, category means one and the same. Let us start from kingdom, last to species. Kingdom is the highest category of the classification. This is the highest category in which certain common fundamental characters are used as a basis of the whole classification. Okay. As such, 2 broad kingdoms are identified, taking R.H. Whittaker's 5 kingdom system of classification into consideration. Those 2 are Plantae and Animalia. For example, kingdom Animalia comprises of organisms that are multicellular, heterotrophic and eukaryotic. Okay. R.H. Whittaker came up with a 5 kingdom system of classification, which is widely accepted today. That is Monera, which includes all prokaryotic organisms, Protista, which includes unicellular eukaryotes, fungi, Plantae and Animalia. These are the 5 kingdoms that are given by R.H. Whittaker. For example, kingdom Animalia includes all multicellular heterotrophic organisms. Monera includes all unicellular prokaryotic cells. Protista includes all unicellular eukaryotes, which is the common, like this Protista is a linking line between the prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Fungi will include all the organisms which are heterotrophic and multicellular. Plantae, all autotrophic multicellular organisms, here again heterotrophic multicellular. Clear, right? So, these are the 5 kingdoms from R.H. Whittaker. Second is phylum or division. Okay. Phylum for in animals, if it is in animals, the next taxon is called as phylum. If it is plants, it is called as division. Okay. This is a group of closely related classes. Okay. Organisms share a basic body plan or major structural features. For example, phylum Chordata includes all the animals which have notochord, which are vertebrates, whereas invertebrates does not have notochord. That is a common feature which is kept under the phylum Chordata. Okay. Next, third is class. Same in the case of Angiospermae in plants, which includes all the flowering plants. And then a subdivision of phylum consists of organisms with more specific similarities. Okay. All members in a class will share common attributes like mode of nutrition, body structure and reproduction. Here with respect to each and every taxon, we have to remember what are the similar characters it is sharing. For example, here if we have to consider class, what are the common features that are having to all the members which are in the same class? Common attributes like mode of nutrition, body structure and reproduction. Examples like Mammalia, phylum which belongs to the phylum Chordata, they are characterized by what? Milk production and they are warm blooded organisms. In Dicotyledons class, which is under the division Angiosperms, 2 cotyledons and net venation is reticular venation and taproot system. These are the common features which are shared by the all organisms which are placed in dicotyledons. So, this is with respect to class. And then order. A group of closely related families comes under order. So, here families will share common vegetative and floral characters. Vegetative and floral characters. Okay. Whereas order shares only similar floral characters. Floral, or you can also describe it as reproductive characters. Fine. Family, all the organisms will have same vegetative and floral characters. Orders will have only similar reproductive features. So, here these are the group of closely related families. The criteria include nature of reproductive organisms and arrangement of flowers, where we know trimerous, tetramerous, pentamerous arrangement of the flowers, and based on the floral symmetry we have, based on the position we have different types of flowers, hypogynous, epigynous, perigynous, and based on symmetry also we have different types. So, all that are included in the similar order. Mode of nutrition for the order primates includes in humans, monkey and apes. Rosales include rose, mulberry and fig families. Okay. And then family includes group of closely related genera with numerous structural similarities. Families often share reproductive features, vegetative traits or DNA markers also we can say. Then example Hominidae, this family includes humans, great apes, for example genus is Homo and Pan. Next family Fabaceae, which is also called as Leguminosae, includes pulses like pea, gram and soybean. Okay, these are the examples. So, for each taxonomic categories we need to highlight only 2 things. What are the common characters it is sharing and what are the examples of that. For that also I have given a nice table where in a single table we can recall everything. Okay. So, till family it is done, right? Yeah. Genus and species. A group of closely related species is called as genera. They show common ancestry and morphological similarity. So, all those similar or different species which are having common ancestry and morphological similarity are placed in common genus. First part is binomial name. Okay. Next examples for this, for Homo, this includes Homo sapiens and Homo erectus. Solanum includes Solanum tuberosum, which is potato, Solanum melongena, brinjal. Okay. Last is species, which is the basic lowest unit of classification, group of organisms which are capable of interbreeding and producing fertile offspring. So, these are group of organisms which are capable of interbreeding and they produce fertile offspring. According to which concept? Biological species concept by Ernst Mayr. That is very important because quite a times only on biological species concept the question is asked. This is denoted by the second part of binomial nomenclature. Members share genetic makeup, behavior and niche, which is common. Examples: Homo sapiens, modern humans, and then Mangifera indica, mango, Panthera leo, lion. Now, benefits of taxonomy. What are the benefits? Categorization of organisms for ease of study. Second is this compares similarities and differences between the organisms. Third, this shows evolutionary relationships, and same name is used for an organism worldwide. Okay. Knowledge of bioresources and their diversity is widely used in this taxonomy. So, these are the benefits of taxonomy. Lastly, these two in the single slide, how we can remember the complete examples, whether statement based question might be, match the following question might be, everything is covered. So, here species, genus, family, order, class. As this is Animalia, here we have to take phylum and this is kingdom. Okay. So, here if you see Melongena, tuberosum and nigrum, these are the species belonging to the genus Solanum. Okay. And here Aestivum belongs to the genus Triticum, Alum sativum, Alum cepa, cepa and sativum, these are two different species belong to the same genus Alum. Okay. So, understood till here, right? Now, here Solanum, Datura and Petunia, three of them, three genera belong to the same family, that is Solanaceae. That means Solanum, Datura and Petunia, they are sharing common vegetative and floral characters from Solanaceae. Okay. And then Mangifera belongs to the family Anacardiaceae, Triticum belongs to Poaceae and Alum belongs to Liliaceae. Next, Polymoniales. Polymoniales is the order which includes Convolvulaceae and Solanaceae. And then Anacardiaceae belongs to Sapindales, Poaceae to Poales, Liliaceae to Liliales. Okay. Then Polymoniales, Sapindales belongs to the class Dicotyledons, Poales and Liliales belongs to the class Monocotyledons. Yes, right. Next, monocots and dicots comes under angiosperms because they are spermatophytes. Spermatophytes, that is seed bearing plants. And then chordata animals, that is phylum, we know this is plantae, phylum or division. So, this complete list which is there, this is highly asked for our exam. Okay, complete example we can remember. If we can look into it like 5 or 10 minutes in a day, we can remember it. Okay. So, the flow chart is clear, right ma'am? Yeah. Next, this is for Animalia, only Animalia. Again 7 obligate categories: species, genus, family, order, class, phylum. Yes. Here if we have to see, first let us start from insects. Musca domestica. Domestica is species, belongs to the genus Musca. Sapiens, Homo sapiens. Next, Panthera leo, Panthera tigris, Panthera pardus. 3 of them has common ancestry and similar morphological features. So, they belong to the same genus Panthera. Familiaris, Lupus, aureus belongs to the same genus Canis. Okay. Now, Musca belongs to the family Muscidae, Homo, Hominidae, Panthera to Felidae, Canis, Canidae. Then Muscidae belongs to the order Diptera, Hominidae, Primata, Felidae, Carnivora. Felidae and Canidae both belongs to Carnivora. Canidae means dogs belongs to this family, Felidae cats belongs to Felidae, both of them Carnivora. Next, Diptera belongs to the class Insecta, Primata and Carnivora, both orders are included under the same class, that is Mammalia. Then insects belongs to Arthropoda, mammalians to chordates. So, both of them chordates and non-chordates belongs to the kingdom Animalia. So, this flow chart is clear now ma'am, easy to remember. Now, last, this table, from this table many times the questions will be picked actually, because this is directly given on our text. So, here of course, all the examples are discussed in our previous flow charts only, but once we will revise this and close the session for today. From tomorrow we will analyze the modes of classification, okay, and species concepts. There are 7 species concepts that are given. These classification systems and species concepts we will learn tomorrow. So, here if you see the common name for man or humans. Homo sapiens is the biological name. Genus Homo belongs to the family Hominidae. Order Primata. Mammalia is the class and the division is Chordata. Housefly Musca domestica. Musca is the genus. Muscidae family. Diptera is the order. Belongs to the class Insecta and the division is Arthropoda. Mango Mangifera indica. Mangifera is the genus, belongs to the family Anacardiaceae. Sapindales is the order and the class is Dicotyledons, belongs to the division Angiosperms. Wheat Triticum aestivum, genus is Triticum, family Poaceae. Poales Monocotyledons is the class and Angiospermae is the division. So, this is all about taxonomic categories. Okay. So, tomorrow we will be looking into classification systems and then species concepts. Okay. Thank you.